Now we're going to begin talking about the first domain in the VIPKID Teacher Applicant Performance Indicator, TPR and demonstration. The indicator says, teacher uses TPR when needed and can model how to complete tasks and accelerate student understanding. Circles, draws a line, or hand signals to demonstrate how to perform the task on the PowerPoint. This is a huge item, TPR and demonstration. In my opinion, these should probably be separate items. For one, they're very different things, as you'll see when we talk about TPR later. But I think VIPKID was thinking these are both physical, so they put them together. Because TPR and demonstration actually are two separate ideas, it's good for you to understand that there are really two objectives within this item that you need to meet. You can't just do the TPR grade and get the green smiley face. You'll need to do the TPR and the demonstration grade in order to get the green smiley face that you want. It is possible for you to kill in the area of demonstration, for example, but do poorly in the area of TPR, bringing your overall grade for this item down. Let's talk about demonstration. Demonstration can be anything where you are showing the student what you want them to do. For instance, I want the student to circle an apple. I might say, circle the apple. But sometimes it's not so cut and dry as that. Sometimes I'll have to show them what I'm talking about. For instance, your student may have a task that looks like this, and they're supposed to draw a line to connect those. So you can show them in the air, you can write it on the PowerPoint, and these are forms of demonstration. And you might also break out your whiteboard and physically show them how to do it. Demonstration is a huge part of your mock class, and your mentor really wants to see this. In fact, there's a whole separate idea called I do, you do, we do that the mock class mentors are looking for. And I'm going to add that in a separate video. Just know that I do, you do, we do is about demonstration. And it's a big deal in your mock class. Demonstration isn't just hand signals or writing on a board. It could even extend to modeling. When you show the student how to do something, say with a puppet. For instance, maybe you're trying to have a conversation with the student. You want to say, how are you? And you want the student to say, I'm fine, thanks. And you? So you start off this way. How are you? The student says, how are you? Oh no, we're stuck there. The student doesn't understand that we're having a two-way conversation. And you can't say, hey, Bao Bao, this is a two-way conversation, okay? I'll do my part and you do yours. No, you can't say anything like, please answer the question, or I'm asking you, you answer. The student doesn't know any of that vocabulary if you're teaching them how are you. Think about it. So the only thing you can do is model. You show the student using your puppet, you demonstrate or model using the puppet what you're looking for. Very often they'll get it this way. How are you? I'm fine, thanks, and you? It'll sometimes take a couple of times. Patience. So now that we've talked about demonstration, let's talk about TPR. What is TPR? TPR stands for Total Physical Response. If you have your TESOL teaching certification, then you're already familiar with TPR. TPR is one of the language teaching methods that you would have explored in that program. TPR was originally thought of as its own separate teaching method. It was not part of another method in the way that we use it at VIPKID. It employed a method of teaching whereby the teacher would elicit physical responses from the student. This is how I learned Spanish. We would all be sitting down and the teacher would point at a student and say, párate. And she would illustrate. She would get off of her chair and come up, and she would say, párate. And I learned párate meant stand up. So I was able, before I could pronounce párate, I could process that language and I could do that movement. And I started to associate that sound with that action. TPR was developed by James Asher, and he had a lot of theories behind why TPR was important. For one, he said that using a physical method made language easily recognizable, easily attainable for students. Two, he believed that students could begin to interact and perform within the language before they were ready to speak. The third part that James Asher really wanted to make happen, he wanted our brains and our neurons to fire in a way that physical action connects to what we hear. VIPKID has a particularly unique approach to TPR that I think you should understand. They've broken it into two categories for the purpose of teaching: instructional TPR and educational TPR. VIPKID uses what they call instructional TPR for the teacher to communicate with the student what they want them to do. VIPKID is using this to get a response from the student as far as what they should do in the classroom. It's not just with the purpose of learning that vocabulary word. So for example, when we want them to repeat what we said, sometimes we'll show them our ears. A lot of people have asked, is it ASL? Is it American Sign Language? No, it's not that. It is you, the teacher, communicating with a logical range of motions to the student in order for them to understand what you want them to do. VIPKID calls this TPR. So if you have already been trained in ESL, your brain is saying that's not TPR. In the VIPKID world, this is part of what they consider TPR. So that has expanded into a whole range of things to where now if you hear VIPKID teachers talking, or even in the videos that you'll see on YouTube, they're saying TPR is anything where you're using your hands to express yourself. So if you said, hello, how are you? In the VIPKID world, they would say that is TPR, some motion that is helping you express yourself. And it has nothing to do with the physical response that was the original PR in TPR. The other side of the coin that VIPKID acknowledges is the educational TPR. Now this is the traditional interpretation of what TPR is, where I will say, run, and I'll start to run, and I'll try to get the student to run, and we'll both be doing it so the student's having a physical response to link with what I'm saying. Hopefully they'll do the motion and they'll say the word. James Asher's original TPR teaching method did not include a verbal response from the student. So this is something unique to VIPKID. They want that physical response and they also want the verbal response. So that's what we're going to do. It is especially good for you to associate emotion with a target sentence or a target vocabulary word. You want to look at these patterns, and if one of the patterns is I see a dog, then you're going to assign motions to it. You can imagine what those motions are. I see a dog. Now hopefully you can get the student to do this TPR with you. That makes it really TPR. Get in front of the mirror with your target sentences and just practice, practice, practice with your motions and your target sentences. Get this down. It's super important. You can do your props and everything else later, but practicing this way will accomplish two things. It will link those motions for you. The thing that we're trying to do for the student, it will also do for you. So you'll automatically do the TPR when you get in the classroom. It will also really reinforce for you what those target sentences and vocabulary are, because as we're going to discuss in another video, it's very important to make sure you use the correct target sentences and vocabulary. TPR for VIPKID can extend from trying to express yourself to the student, to instructing the student, to modeling for the student how to do something, to getting a physical response for the student. You'll get varying opinions between teachers and between mock class mentors as to what TPR is. But let me give you this pointer. If you do both types of TPR, the instructional and the educational, as well as demonstrating with TPR, draw a line. You're hitting the nail right on the head. Now turn this video off and practice a few target sentences yourself. Practice, practice, practice. And I'll see you in the next video about level appropriate output.